Smoke. Senator Quentin Anders offered, producing a small silver container from his breast pocket. The other man stared off into the distance. His arms sat folded on the railing of the mansion's third-floor balcony. He hadn't spoken a word for many minutes. The senator opened the silver container, revealing several slender brown cigars. They were hand-rolled and aged to perfection. At least, that's what he had been assured. All Quentin really knew was that they cost 600 denarii apiece. The politician glanced over and awaited a reply. When none was forthcoming, he exhaled. Pulling out a lighter, he spoke. "All right, suit yourself." The senator glanced out over the Napoli skyline. It was a beautiful area, even at night. The shops and hotels on the waterfront cast bands of light out onto the Mediterranean. Lovers and friends would still be down there, enjoying the night sky. Quentin liked to imagine how life would be for the common people. They would discuss the matters of the day as though they had any influence over their course. They would think themselves the center of power of their own universe. Quentin knew better. There were no centers of power. Power resided wherever people believed it did. There was only the illusion of being more powerful. Those who were best at maintaining the illusion were the most successful and respected. The senator knew this from experience. "Care to tell me why you decided to break into my party?" the senator asked, taking a long drag on the cigar. The burning embers flared red. "Because I don't recall inviting anyone from Talon here." The man looked over at him. His expression was unreadable. It made the senator uncomfortable. Quentin liked to be able to read people. By understanding others, you could understand how to control them. This man, however, was not under the senator's control. "Quint," the man stated flatly. Anders felt the hairs rise up on the back of his neck. He hated being called Quint. "My employers are ready to make a play." The senator turned back towards the night sky. It was so quiet up here. The party 2 floors below might as well have been on another world. "Good for them," Quentin said, exhaling a puff of smoke. "I don't see how that is any concern of mine." "Don't be daft," the other man said. "You know you don't have any choice but to be concerned." The senator's muscles tensed up. He was not used to being told that he had no choice. There were very few people in the world who held the power to get away with it. The man with the doll's eyes was one of them. "Listen here, you cloak and dagger bastard. I'm out. I'm sick of these plots and plans where your employers profit and I get stuck holding the bill. Last time you told me about a play, I had to pass a universal healthcare bill just to make sure that the story wouldn't get out. I'm out." "Care to elaborate?" Quentin Anders requested. "There isn't much that you need to know. We don't need loose ends," the man said into the night. The senator's knuckles whitened around the railing. He'd had just about enough of this. In his head, he spat a torrent of profanities. Instead, he flashed a smile. "Then tell me where I can be of help." The false cheer in his words concealed contempt. "My employers are interested in data. The sort that can't be obtained easily." The man looked over at the politician. Quentin realized for the first time that he had scars that ran across his neck. They were ugly and twisted things. They stood testament to unspoken trauma. "That's where we need your help." Quentin nodded. "This is already shaping up to be disastrous," he thought as he did. "What do you need?" he asked the man with the doll's eyes. "I bet your name isn't even Martin. In fact, I'm certain it isn't. Something so wretched as you wouldn't even have a true name." "A war games exercise in South China. With several of my men in key places as it takes place. You'll need to put in several transfer requests." "Wait." The senator dropped the cigar. "You want me to set up an entire war game scenario?" There was madness, and then there was this. And this was sounding very impossible. "That's right," the other confirmed unflinchingly. "There are a few other clerical responsibilities that you'll be receiving in the coming days. My employer wants this all completed by the end of the year." A year? Quentin exclaimed. That's only 7 months. These things can't be set into motion that fast. The man with the scars upon his neck eyed Quentin dangerously. Oh, I'm sure you'll find a way, Senator Anders. If not, well, we both know what might just find its way to the public's attention. I'm sure the media would have a heyday. The butcher of Fort Derringer has a certain ring to it, don't you think, Senator? Quentin bowed his head down. Why is everyone so dependent upon men like me? Men who can get their hands dirty. For once, the senator was a little relieved that his son was in Siberia. That way, he wouldn't know that his father had once again bent the knee. I'll see what I can do, the senator said, sounding tired. Good. The names and assignments will be on your personal cloud storage at 8 tomorrow morning. They will delete automatically at 8:05. Don't mess up. The man who said his name was Martin replied. Then he turned and walked down the long balcony that curved around 3 sides of the massive complex. He reached slowly into his pocket. His hand pressed a button, unseen. A second later, the man flickered and then vanished into the night. Starry skies appeared where there had been the silhouette of a man only moments before. Quentin shuddered. I'll never be able to get used to that. He considered what had been said. Glancing up, the senator noted that it must be almost midnight. The moon hung directly overhead. He thought about smoking another cigar. Then, Anders remembered Seth Kennedy. With a sigh, he turned and re-entered the mansion. How in the hell can humanity be expected to build a reputation in the galaxy if we're so busy scheming and plotting against ourselves? The senator's mind wandered to these mysterious employers that had dogged his steps for years. Briefly, Quentin wondered who they might be. He wasn't sure, he wanted to know. With a shake of his head, he forced the question away. The aged senator felt his ears acutely as he descended the beautiful oaken stairs to the 2nd floor. Here too, there were vases and statues that lined the walls. They were flanked by dozens of mahogany doors leading deeper into the estate. The sounds of laughter and music floated up, but the senator no longer wanted to be a part of that. The butcher of Fort Derringer. It did have a ring to it. It was not a comforting thing. He found the younger man on another balcony at the rear of the mansion. The senator was nearly upon him before Kennedy noticed. Seth looked over with an air of ease. I could get used to a place like this, he told Quentin. I'm not sure that I can, the older man thought. You'll get yours eventually, Anders replied, eyeing his cypress trees. Smoke. The younger man looked over with a grin. Yeah, I'd like that, he said. Quentin Anders finally felt himself relax. Just a little, but it felt nice. The man with the doll's eyes and his employers could wait until morning. The senator offered Kennedy a cigar. After lighting it, he did the same for his own. The pair stood in silence for a few moments. So, Walsh says that you're going to be hegemon, Quentin stated, the sarcasm seeping into his words. Walsh says a lot of things, the younger man said, taking a drag off of his cigar. I'll never be anything if I don't meet the right people. I need someone to mentor me. Anders felt a smile cross his face. Maybe this one understood how the game worked, after all. This could be interesting. You know, you remind me of a younger me, he told Seth Kennedy. Then, he let out a hearty laugh into the warm night. It felt good to laugh. Quentin Anders took a long drag on his cigar. The light from the embers illuminated his exhausted face. Sometimes, he wished that he had chosen another path. Perhaps that's why he had been so hard on Christopher. Maybe Quentin was jealous. Though, when he thought about it, he wasn't sure what there was to be jealous of. I have everything that a man could want, he told himself in a powerful voice. The statement's echo was different. It whispered back. Except my own freedom. The author's name and the link to original text is in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.